groups. In groups. You know, we're called as individuals to assemble in groups, and that's normally how it's done. But it makes the point that one person can be an apostle. Somebody came up with this idea of doing something, a person can do it. You know, it's wide open. Wide open. Groups working together. Chapter 5. Paragraph 23, the first sentence.
The lay apostolate, individual or collective, must be set in its due place within the apostolate of the whole church.
Okay, so you have an apostolate, okay? But it's part of the whole church. And let's just piggyback this onto paragraph 24, first paragraph.
The hierarchy's duty is to favor the whole apostolate, furnish it with principles and spiritual assistance, direct the exercise of the apostolate to the common good of the church, and see to it that doctrine and order are safeguarded.
Okay, so you have apostolate. So there has to be some parameters given, okay? What does it say? What are some parameters? Paragraph 24, the second word. Hierarchy. So if we have an apostolate, you know, it's in a hierarchy. You know, our church has hierarchy, right? Where does the apostolate fall? Below? Below the priest. So we have to remember, you know, the status. No matter, there could be 30, 40 people in an apostolate, but still there's a hierarchy. Still under the direction of the priest, okay? And where it says here, you know, the priest is provided with principles and spiritual assistance. So they're still there underneath. You've got to remember that. Sometimes maybe some parishes think they are higher than the priest. You know, that's not the case. So we've got to remember that. Chapter 6. I wonder how many apostolates know this. Chapter 6. What is the title?
Training.
Training. Did somebody read paragraph 28, first sentence?
A training at once many-sided and complete is indispensable if the apostolate is to attain full efficacy.
Vatican II is saying it's wonderful to have apostolates, but they need to be trained. What do you think they need to be trained in? What's that? There's one. Every apostolate should be trained. This is our goal, folks. Everything that you do should be in this direction. Beautiful. What else? Okay, very good. The apostolate has to be functioning within the teachings of our church. You can't have an apostolate, Knights of Columbus, teaching, you know, that you can buy your way to heaven or things like, you know. There has to be teaching. They have to be operating within the truth of the church. Think of anything else?
Well, they have to learn whatever that individual or particular ministry or apostolate is. The participants must know or understand the parameters and the rules of that apostolate.
There you go. And what about the specific rule? Catholic daughters. You probably have bylaws or something.
Yeah.
You know, within each specific group, you have parameters. So you have to learn the specific parameters, and then the church's parameters, and then the goal, you know. So training is an important part. You know, otherwise, how do you know what to do? You know, do you just get together and do stuff? I don't know. You know, training, just like anything else. You know, think of your jobs. You know, when you get a new job, what's usually happen? You have orientation, right? You probably learn the mission statement of the company, specific objectives, the do's and don'ts of your particular job, who your boss is. You know, there's no difference here. Paragraph 30, 32. First sentence. There's a whole paragraph. 32. And it just kind of emphasizes what we just talked about.
Leads to training.
Aids to training. Yeah, what? Yeah, now think about it. We're commanded to be trained. Okay, in the apostolate. Look at what aids it gives us to train. What are the aids?
Many aids are now at the disposal of the laity who devote themselves to the apostolate, namely sessions, congresses, recollections, retreats, frequent meetings, conferences, books, and periodicals. All these enable them to deepen their knowledge of Holy Scripture and Catholic doctrine, nourish the spiritual life, and become acquainted also with world conditions, and discover and adopt suitable methods.
Look at what Vatican II tells us that we should use to train apostolates. And this is near and dear to my heart, and for those of you that are in my classes, you know I do this. I'm kind of unique, I think, and a lot of teachers teaching the Catholic faith, because you know me. I really promote this book, don't I? I want all Catholics to be Bible Catholics, know the Scripture. And there's a reason for that. Our faith is here. But look at what it says here. Training their knowledge of Scripture. Sometimes I wonder, we're so common, I wonder sometimes in these apostolates, I'm just saying generically, how many of them know the Bible? How many of them even have a Bible? How many of them even open the Bible? You know, this is a shortcoming in the Catholic Church because of history. You know, think about it. You've been around a while. You're encouraged not to do that. And now the pendulum is changing. We're supposed to do that, and some people are coming from that, and they may not know, but Scripture. We need to have knowledge of Scripture and what? Catholic doctrine. Catechism. Why do I harp? The 2 books, and now after this class, the 3 books that every Catholic should have are what? The Bible, Catechism, and Vatican II tells us how to live this. And so, the decree on the lay people. I just wanted to hit this one definitely in our class, just to kind of let you know what Vatican II tells us about us. I just wish more of us would know this. Just think what our church would be like. And we're so fortunate here that we are way ahead of a lot of other churches in apostolates and ministries and people involved. But
And you say
we can always
you're
do
not
better.
talking about other Catholic churches.
Yeah.
I think of some Protestant churches and they're way ahead of us.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, gosh, yes. Why do you think some Protestant churches are light years ahead of us?
Because they only have one source.
Okay. Okay. When I go to this, what's the foundation? What's up here? What do Protestants have? They don't have this. They got this, right? So they spend all their time here. What do you think this is all about? They spend all their time evangelizing. What does Vatican II say about evangelization? We should be doing it. They spend all their time there. That's why some of them are light years ahead of us. What would happen if we would spend more time down there? We did it. We finished one more. Before we leave, I've got a couple announcements. One more class. Wipe the smiles off your face. One more class. We're going to cover one more book.